Thomas is a blue tank engine that needs no introduction. He is known as #1 on the island of Sodor. You can often find him shunting or riding along his branch line with his two iconic coaches, Annie and Clarabelle. The other engines love Thomas, and he has the reputation of being a really useful engine. After a hard day's work, Sir Topham Hatt came to see him at Farquhar's sheds one evening. "Tomorrow," he began, "I want you to go to Brendam Docks. You'll be teaching a new engine about shunting and pulling coaches." "Yes, sir," said Thomas tiredly. "That's a good engine," smiled the Fat Controller. "You're in for quite the surprise." With that, he walked away, leaving Thomas to ponder as to what he meant. He was so excited that he forgot he was even tired. The next morning, Thomas went straight to Brendam Docks, finding the surprise that Sir Topham hadn't mentioned. There, standing on the siding, was a blue engine with the same number as his. He also had 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and a short stumpy dome. Thomas was looking at an engine that looked just like him. "Bust my boiler!" cried Thomas. The yard manager came in with a laugh. "Relax, Thomas. It's a replica engine. He's going to be pulling passengers at the Nene Valley Railway in Peterborough." Thomas looked on in wonder. Just a replica? Does he talk? The engine that blew his whistle, scaring Thomas. "Of course I could talk," the engine laughed. "Of course, I'm not really supposed to let the tourists know. It's a pleasure to meet the real deal. I was told you'd be teaching me, and I'm excited to learn." But Thomas was hesitant to teach. The day went on, and Thomas would teach his replica how to shunt around Farquhar Station, showing him the do's and don'ts. All the while, he didn't act too friendly. When it was time for a rest, Thomas was sitting in a siding away from the replica, eyeing him with contempt. It was then that Toby pulled alongside. "Hello, Thomas," smiled Toby. "Am I seeing double?" Thomas explained everything to Toby. "I don't like it. Why are they trying to replace an authentic experience of the original with a fake? It's not right." Toby just chuckled. "Don't think of it like that, Thomas. You should be flattered. None of us could say that a replica was made in our exact image. Besides that, consider how he feels. Don't you think he might just want to be a useful engine like you? He's lucky to have an engine like you to teach him." Toby then puffed away, leaving Thomas with much to think about. Soon, it was time to take Annie and Clarabelle along the branch line. Thomas was meant to be in front of the replica, pulling him and the coaches. But thanks to Toby, he had a different idea. "Please, sir," pleaded Thomas to the station master, "do you think you could give the other Thomas a shot at pulling the train? I could teach him what to do on the journey." "I don't see why not," smiled the station master. The arrangements were set, and the replica beamed to have a chance at pulling a passenger train. He coupled onto Annie, while Thomas would be behind the coaches. "Steady now," said Thomas. "Be patient and wait for the guard's whistle." The replica listened and waited for the guard to blow his whistle. When the guard did, he slowly puffed out the station with Thomas, Annie, and Clarabelle in tow. The 2 tank engines made their way down the line. Thomas instructed the replica to not go too fast. He listened well and stayed on time. He's pulling pulling us well. He's pulling us well, sang the coaches. Thomas couldn't disagree and found himself quite impressed. You're doing swell, called Thomas. You're doing swell. Eventually, the day came when the replica would leave the island to Peterborough. The engines were there to give their goodbyes, including Thomas, Annie, and Clarabelle. The replica felt bittersweet as he looked at Thomas. It was great to be here. I'll miss you, and I won't ever be as good as you. Nonsense, said Thomas. You already are. You're officially Peterborough's #1 engine. The replica smiled warmly as he then set off towards the line. All the engines gave him their cheers. But there was no cheer louder than the one from Sodor's #1 engine, Thomas.